Hi, I'm sorry for the hair. I hope you're having a great day. Several days ago, a news outlet here in Japan published an article with the headline, "The said article states that the Japanese government is proposing the abolishment of the government-backed Technical Intern Training Program, or TITP. But what is TITP? Does abolishing this particular program would do well for foreign nationals aiming to work here in this country? And why does the Japanese government, the government backing up this program in the first place, wants to abolish this program? Let's find out. Welcome back to NikkoVenture. I've mentioned TITP several times in some of my videos, but I didn't really define it. TITP, or Technical Intern Training Program, or in Japanese, Gino Jishu Seido, is a work training program that aims to transfer skills, technologies, and knowledge to foreign nationals who are from a developing country. To do this, the program allows foreign nationals from those developing countries to come here in Japan as trainees to be trained by Japanese companies. Although labeled as trainees, these foreign nationals will come here in Japan and will work in Japanese companies and will be treated fairly and will be paid fairly by these Japanese companies under the TITP guidelines. So in principle, the TITP program aims to train eligible foreign nationals from developing countries, labeling them as trainees, not workers. Again, the foreign nationals under the TITP program are not workers. They are trainees. However, these technical interns will do their job required of them for the duration of their contract here in Japan, and they will be paid for that work.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I do get the part where the technical intern trainees will be paid for the hours of work they do. I also get the part that while the trainees work, they will learn knowledge, skills, and whatnot at the same time, which is the primary aim of the TITP program. Or at least, it is what it claims to aim. But what I don't get is why these foreign nationals from developing countries under the TITP program be labeled as trainees, not workers. I mean, yes, they get trained while doing their job, but isn't it the same for all of us? Literally all of us? When I did my first job as a nurse in the Philippines, I did my job.
Obviously.
But at the same time, I was also trained. However, I was not labeled as a trainee. Even though it was my first job and everything, almost everything is new to me. I was a full-fledged employee, an entry-level employee, not a trainee, but a worker. So, the Technical Intern Training Program, despite its claims of training foreign nationals from developing countries, is definitely, undeniably, unquestionably providing employment opportunities for these foreign nationals. But they are still labeled as trainees, not workers. So what is this beef, my beef, all about? What we need to understand, what we all need to understand is that these trainees under the TITP program are doing the job of an employee. And even though they're doing the job of an employee, they will not be compensated as a full-fledged employee. Why? Dude, because under the TITP program, these foreign nationals from developing countries are not employees. They are trainees. Additionally, since they are trainees and not employees, these trainees, these foreign nationals from the developing countries, are not eligible for certain benefits and other compensation their company might have. Just think about this. Despite being labeled as trainees and not workers nor employees, and despite the fact that these trainees might be compensated fairly low and are exempted from certain benefits, these TITP trainees are subjected to these three things: poor work condition, hazardous work environment, and risk of injury or death. If you're an employee, you might be appropriately compensated for these. But if you're under the TITP program, you are not an employee. Just let that sink in. Wow! I think I'm starting to see why the Japanese government wants to abolish this program. The TITP program, despite how good its intentions are on paper, may be used by some as a means of finding cheap labor, exploiting those foreign nationals from developing countries in the process. Under this program, the work period, or should I say training period, is a maximum of 5 long years. After those 5 long years, the trainees shall go back to their home countries with all the skills and knowledge they learned here in Japan, utilizing those learned skills and knowledge for the development of their home country. However, since 2019, most if not all of these trainees who have satisfactorily completed their 3rd year of training can transition into the specified skilled worker visa, extending their work period here in Japan for a maximum of 5 years. There are 3 technical intern training categories under the TITP program, and these are as follows. First is the Technical Intern Training 1. This is your first year in Japan as a TITP trainee and is focused on you acquiring basic skills, knowledge, etc. This is also the time where you enjoy your time here in Japan. At this time, you will have lectures and practical training. And at the end of this year, your first year in Japan, you will have to take the basic skill test, both practical and written. Upon passing those tests, you will transition into the next TITP category, the Technical Intern Training 2. This will span your 2nd and 3rd year of training here in Japan and will be focused on you enhancing the skills and knowledge you've learned in the previous year. At the end of your 3rd year as a TITP trainee, you will have to take another set of practical tests. Passing these tests will make you eligible to transition into the 3rd TITP category.
But wait! There's more!
But before transitioning to the TITP 3rd category, there are 3 points you have to remember after finishing your 3rd year here in Japan as a technical intern trainee. 1 is that you can return to your home country temporarily for at least a month. 2 is that you can transition to the specified skilled worker program. 3. You can take the National Caregiver Certification exam if you so desire to be a certified caregiver here in Japan. The 3rd TITP category is the Technical Intern Training 3. When you reach this category, you have at least 2 things to do. 1 is you can either prepare your things to go back to your home country at the end of your TITP contract, or 2, you can find other means of finding or acquiring a new visa to extend your time and work period here in the land of the rising sun. Despite being labeled as trainees, the foreign nationals under the TITP program are paid for their hours of work, or should I say, for their hours of training. The wages or the salary will vary per prefecture or per province here in Japan. It will not be the same for all of us. No. The salary or your wages will also vary depending on the industry you'll be working at. Some industries pay higher than other industries. For my fellow Filipinos, according to this statement by the Philippine government, the amount of remuneration is just another word for wages or salary for a technical intern trainee, shall be equivalent to or greater than the amount of remuneration paid to a Japanese national for similar work. One of the many reasons why the Japanese government is looking to abolish the current TITP program is that for the past decades, this program has been criticized for being used to exploit poor labor from developing countries. Furthermore, there are also cases where the host company insufficiently pays their trainees while some outright refuse to pay their trainees. The widespread exploitation of cheap labor and human rights abuses, including forced labor and human trafficking, have led the Japanese government to consider abolishing the Technical Intern Training Program. However, it is important to note that while the Japanese government is looking to abolish the current TITP program, they are also proposing a new set of system or new set of program that will replace the current TITP program. This new program that will replace TITP will provide safer work environment and legal support for eligible foreign nationals. Additionally, this program will provide easier access for those eligible foreign nationals who wants to come and work here in this country. In principle, this new program that they will be proposing to replace the TITP program will inevitably rival the Specified Skilled Worker program. It mainly depends on your circumstance. There might be someone out there that sees the TITP program as an easier route to come and work here in this country. And abolishing this program, the TITP program, might make it difficult for some people of accomplishing or achieving their goals of working and living in this country. On the other hand, the bad reputation TITP has acquired or accumulated for the past years is undeniable. Regardless of your stance in this, it is the job of the Japanese government. It is the job of Japan, the country that badly needs additional workforce, to make sure it can provide legal support and safer work environment to all its foreign workers and apprehend those host companies that violates any Japanese laws. I'm looking at you, Japan. So that's it for today's video. That was a brief overview, a very brief overview of the Technical Intern Training Program, or TITP, and why the Japanese government, the same government backing this program, is proposing its abolishment. How about you? What are your thoughts on this topic? If you like this video or if you learned something from this video, please leave a like, a comment, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Before you go, please Before you go, please check this video to know more about the Specified Skilled Worker Program, or you can check this one to know more about being a caregiver here in Japan. Thank you so much for your time watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.